Hi, my name is Malika and I'm living in Mumbai, India. I'm from Bangalore and yeah, so I'm launching this channel because I feel I have a lot of stories to share with you, and maybe by listening to these stories, you have a takeaway, or even if not, if you don't, then maybe you can relate to these stories in some way. So, uh, without going much into who I am and what I do, etc. We'll start with one story, and eventually, maybe I will reveal a little more about myself as we journey on. I don't know, it depends on a lot of things. So, when this was about a week back, and I had to, I mean, I have friends here nearby who said, "Hey, you're a South Indian, so why don't you visit the South Indian temple nearby?" So I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So, they gave me directions, and I walked to the place. It was quite a good walk, like about 25-30 minutes, and then I reached this temple. And once I finished, uh, visiting it, they gave us a little, offering that they call prasad. So we had, oh, I mean, I got myself some prasad as well, and it was in a paper a bowl sort of thing. So I just covered my palm with it, and I hailed a auto rickshaw. I sat inside, and this man, the rickshaw driver, he said, "Oh, you've got prasad." I said, "Yes." I said, "Are you religious? Do you like having this?" So he said, I am not religious, but I don't mind any religion. Every religion means so much to me." So I said, "Lovely, so nice to know." And I just kept quiet, and then he began his story. And I have this, sorry, I this is a strange occurrence in my life. A lot of people confide in me with their innermost stories, or stories from their lives, and sometimes I'm a little shocked as to why this happens. And I say, okay, I mean, what did I do to trigger this event? So I have many people who come, and in their first meetings they tell me something very profound, and sometimes I absorb and sometimes it's a bit much, but you have to absorb, there's nothing else you can do. So let's start with this man, the rickshaw driver. He started telling me his family background. He said, my father and my mother both are graduates. So I said, wow, and you're driving a rickshaw? He said, yes. And he said his mother was a lecturer in a college. She taught English. And his father he was a government officer who even got a pension later. And he had two brothers who were in the US, who were working in the US. So I found it a little strange that his entire family seems to be doing so much more well than he is. And then he said that when he was 8 years old, he's the youngest, by the way. So when he was 8, his mother became terminally ill, and his father decided to take his wife, that is this boy's mother, this rickshaw driver's mother, to the US for treatment. So they made all arrangements, and the parents, they left for the US, and his mother received very good treatment out there, and for over a month she was receiving intensive care, but after which she breathed her last. So this 8-year-old boy had lost his mother, and then the father returned, and after returning, life went on. So the father grew old, and this 8-year-old boy who had lost his mother had so much of trauma within. He felt so abandoned, and it's obviously not easy to handle something like this at such a young age. So he didn't study too much. So he didn't even finish his 10th grade and gave up his studies. And and later he said he just wanted to be around people, and took up this profession of being a auto rickshaw driver. Time flew. He got married. He had a son, and his father, he had grown old, and he passed on. So while he was narrating all this, we had reached my destination. So I got off the rickshaw, and I said, "Okay, now where's your son? What is he doing?" So he said, "The good thing is that his brothers in the US, they have adopted this kid, and so they took him abroad, and he's studying there now." I said, "Great. So now you're, what, in a way, you're having a good life because your son is, he's studying well and he's doing you proud." So he said, "Yes, I'm happy about that. And I live my life. I'm really happy. And I take every day as it comes." And he looked beyond me from to see where I'd gotten off. Now, unlike all the other apartments in Mumbai, this place, the where I live, is more like a bungalow site with only about 2 stories, in which also includes our owner's house, and I'm a tenant in a small house here. So overall, it looks like a bungalow. So he made his assumptions. He said, "Oh, so you're living here and you must be surrounded by family, husband, kids, and you don't really understand what our kind of life is, how it is to help serve both your parents. I did so till their last breaths. So it's while I appreciate that you have so much to lean on to, you I feel, I just wish you knew the kind of uh, struggle we went through, I went through. And sometimes I look at many people and I feel that way." So I said, "Great. I mean, what can I say?" And then I said, "Would you like some prasad?" So I gave him some, those offerings that were given to us. I said, "Would you like to have some?" And I just gave him a little bit, and he happily took it. And he said, "Okay," and he took leave. Little did he know that I too had lost my parents, and one very recently at that. And that's how one assumes things. So I was alone. I also took care of both my parents, and I made compromises as a result. You can't have everything. So I spent some of my best moments with my mom, and also whatever I could with my father. So you accordingly, I had accordingly made sacrifices, uh, and really not thinking of them as sacrifices. I just went with the flow. And I think many kids might do that. I don't know. It's very, it's it depends case to case, so you can't really generalize. But I had ensured that my mother, who was bedridden for a very long time, to have the best of care possible from me, from my end. So I did see all of my colleagues moving forward and having flourishing careers, and my career took a back seat. But I ventured into other areas like theater, and I tried to write a play, and it did reasonably well. But my first priority was always my parents. So he made an assumption that only people who are, I mean, only people like him, whatever that means to him, had undergone this sort of a situation. And I don't blame him, because I also thought that he, being a rickshaw driver, may not have an educated background that he said he did, right? So all all along, we're all making assumptions about each other. So sometimes things don't seem, so sometimes things are not what they seem to be, and I wouldn't say sometimes, but most often. So maybe we should give each other a chance, and I make assumptions all the time. I still haven't learned my lessons, and I hope to get better as a human being. But maybe we should just not judge a book by its cover. So that's about it today, and I hope to share more stories. So if you like my channel and if you like what I'm sharing, please do, as every YouTuber says, please do to like, share, subscribe. Okay, so thank you so much, and so glad you stayed and you listened, and I hope it added value to your day. Thank you. Bye.